Chapter 3. There She Blows. We had entered the Indian Ocean before I took part in my first successful whale hunt. As soon as the cry of "There she blows!" had been heard, signalling that whales blowing spray had been sighted close by, the ship's hunting crew leaped into their rowboats. Just as we set off, a group of 5 men bearing harpoons appeared on deck. They were the mysterious figures I had spotted before we set sail from Nantucket. Ahab had smuggled up his own team of skilled harpoonists aboard to help him kill Moby Dick in case the ship's own crew refused to obey his orders. While Ahab's harpoon crew watched from the deck, the rest of us went to work. Each of the 3 hunting teams tore across the waves, rowing as hard as we could in pursuit of the nearby whales. Swiftly we closed in on our prey. At last, this was the action I had been waiting for. As we drew close to our target, Queequeg raised his sharp, spear-like weapon, took aim, and hurled it straight into the hump of the nearest whale. The rope on the end of the weapon spooled out rapidly, then twanged tight. Immediately, we were dragged along by the snared whale at an almost impossible speed. Suddenly, it flipped its enormous tail, our boat overturned, and we were all thrown into the churning sea. My part in the chase was over, but we had our first catch. Within hours, the blubber of this mighty creature had been boiled down into oil, and its bones thrown back into the sea. I was truly a whaler now. That night, Starbuck went to the captain's quarters to advise him of our successful day's hunting. Ahab was too engrossed in his maps and charts to care.
"According to the records created by many sailors before me, Moby Dick always moves in the same waters at the same time of year," Ahab announced. "By April, we will be able to lie in wait for him in the Pacific Ocean."
This detour would take us miles away from our planned whale hunting course, but no one could change the captain's mind. One day, the captain of a nearby whaling ship, the Samuel Enderby, came aboard. As always, Ahab questioned him on whether he had seen Moby Dick.
"Yes, we've seen him," said Captain Boomer. "I lost an arm to that whale myself. He's best left alone, don't you think?" "Never! I will not cease until I find him and kill him!" shouted Ahab.
He called to his own harpoonist.
"Fidala, change course right away!"
With that, the ship turned in Moby Dick's direction, and Captain Boomer quickly returned to his own vessel, feeling sure that the captain of the Pequod was quite mad. As we sailed on, Queequeg fell ill with a fever. He was so ill that we all thought he would die, so the ship's carpenter made a coffin for his burial at sea. Thankfully, he recovered, but one night a terrible typhoon threatened to kill us all. Our bone-clad ship tossed around the stormy waters as if it were made of matchsticks. The ship's blacksmith had made Captain Ahab a special harpoon, and a blinding flash struck the ship's lightning rod and set this weapon aglow with reflected light. Raising the gleaming harpoon, Captain Ahab bellowed, "The white flame lights the way to the white whale!" Starbuck begged the captain to head back, but he was beyond reason. The crew hid from him as he raged at the storm. Somehow, we survived the typhoon, but by now, even his own harpoon crew were wary of Ahab's strange moods. Our voyage was no longer a great adventure. One day, Ahab questioned the crew of another passing ship, the Rachel, whose captain had lost his own son to Moby Dick. Ahab decided to head on towards the equator, miles from usual whale hunting waters. His target was close at last.